think swimmers work just as hard as football players. Many people do not realize the commitment involved in being on the swim team. Practices start in mid-August just like the football team, and we have 2 days just like the football players. When school starts, swimmers still practice for 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. Beginning at 6 a.m., swimmers have weightlifting or swimming, and after school they practice for another 2 hours in the pool. When a swimmer is competing, they have to give 110% their entire race. There are no timeouts in swimming, and in football, if you need to switch players or change your strategy, you can call a timeout. But in swimming, the clock doesn't stop, and because the clock doesn't stop, you're not only racing a person, but you're racing the clock as well. If you're too tired or your goggles fall off, or even if you get a cramp in your leg, you're expected to keep swimming. A person must assume the person they are racing is right next to them, because you can't tell where your opponents are when you're swimming. This means you have to give it your all the entire race. And if you're losing a race, you cannot sub in another swimmer to finish the race for you. Although the overall scoring for swimming is a team effort, it's more of an individual sport. In football, you have other teammates to help you, but in swimming, it's all you. There are several ways that swimming is just as physically demanding as football. First of all, swimmers can't breathe whenever they want. They have to train to have good rhythm and breath control. You can't just breathe on a flip turn or on every stroke because it slows you down. Where in football you might get winded, but for the most part breathing is taken for granted. Swimmers and football players burn approximately the same amount of calories. If a 150-pound person were playing full contact football, they would burn about 657 calories in an hour. If that same person were to swim vigorously for an hour, they would burn 666 calories. In a typical swim practice, you're given a set, which is a group of swims that you have to make on a certain time. And it'd be similar to the drills football players have in practice. So sets are very physically demanding. One length of the pool is 25 yards. An example of a common set might be 2 400s, a 50 easy, 4 200s, a 50 easy, and 8 100s, another 50 easy. So that's a total of 2,250 yards, or 102 lengths of the pool. And that's just one set that a swimmer might have to swim in a typical practice. While football players have heavy equipment, making their workout strenuous, swimmers have the added physical challenge of water resistance during their workout. Many people think of swimming as a leisure activity and therefore don't appreciate how physically demanding competitive swimming is. In an article written in the Baker City Herald, 3 local football players who are on the swim team once football season ends, say that swimming drills are sometimes harder on the body than football drills. One player said, quote, "Swimming is tough. Each separate workout in swimming is like a full day of football," end quote. Quite simply put, many football players swim to stay in shape, whereas swimmers don't play football to stay in shape, they just swim. So perhaps someday football will join the ranks of swimming and become an official Olympic sporting event.
Oh, no.